Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. With the major Season 5 update coming up here shortly with Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone, we are of course going to see our next major weapons update slash our next major meta update. With this, we're going to see new weapons introduced. We've got a bunch of different aftermarket parts set to drop all throughout the season, and of course we're going to see several different weapon balance updates go out as well to buff and nerf various different meta or off meta options in some cases too. And today I wanted to give you guys a general overview of all of the weapon update details that we currently know of and a little bit of what to expect with the potential meta updates as well. So first things first, let's break down our 4 new weapons dropping with Season 5. Some of these are going to be available right away at launch. Others are going to be available with the reloaded update towards the middle of the season. The first weapon we're going to see here, though, is known as the Static HV. This is going to be a new SMG, and it's going to be available for free in the Battle Pass per usual here. This in total has 18 levels on it, so it'll be pretty quick to level up and max out. And here is the description that Call of Duty gives us. They say, bring compact lethality to the battlefield with a small SMG chambered in 5.7 by 28. The weapon boasts a high fire rate and significant ammo capacity with a base of 50 rounds in its factory magazine. So we're to be able to spray and pray this thing. 50 round base is going to be phenomenal. Like a bite-sized LMG, the Static HV keeps on firing through even the thickest of fights. Overwhelm your opponents with a hail of fire and use Gunsmith to specialize in hip fire, tac stance, or ADS. Try different ammo attachments and test out various different muzzle and barrel combos to squeeze the most out of this close quarters needler. So this to me, I almost feel like is going to be an alternative to the Swarm. I doubt we're going to see too much range on a sub that's described like this, but for those ultra close range fights, maybe in the first 10-12 meters or so, this thing could absolutely be very, very dominant. And of course, it's a new Battle Pass gun. I expect it to be up towards the top of the meta. That's usually how it goes, considering they want to push you to buy the Battle Pass or upgrade to the Black Cell to get the blueprints for this and unlock it quicker, or just play the game more to go through and unlock it for free, right? So usually our Battle Pass weapons, especially if they are a part of a more popular weapon category like rifles, SMGs, LMGs, snipers, they usually end up being pretty good for that reason. Our next new weapon, speaking of popular weapon categories, is a new assault rifle, quote unquote new assault rifle. This is the STG, of course a familiar one if you've played COD, especially recently, because we just had an STG back in Vanguard a few years ago. This one's also going to be available for free in the Battle Pass right away at launch as well, and here's how they describe this one. The rifle that heralded the age of the assault rifle as a global standard, fully automatic and chambered in 7.92 by 33, this is a hard-hitting primary weapon. The power results in a signature recoil pattern that, though noticeable, is easily controlled for accurate fire. The weapon's high-quality iron sights potentially free up an extra attachment slot if you forego an optic. Fine-tune your playstyle in Gunsmith with attachments like a 60-round mag and the recoil-reducing Jack BFB aftermarket part. However you build it, its powerful base ensures you'll come out with a reliable weapon. So the way they describe this, it's going to be low recoil and hard-hitting, so faster TTK as well as what I'd sort of get out of that. Also, the STG iron sights have always been pretty clean. If we're able to use this as like a mid to long range gun with the irons, that's obviously even more optimal. You can build it out to use like high grain and an underbarrel and like maybe a stock for control or something like that. Definitely gives you some better versatility and variety in your overall attachment setup. However, those are not all the new weapons dropping with Season 5. Still, we've got a couple of other additional ones as well. And by the way, as we are going through the full conversation here with all the weapon and meta update details, quick reminder, if you are new to the channel, every single day I got you covered with news, updates, patch notes. Obviously the Season 5 patch notes dropping soon. We'll be covering those right away. If you want to guarantee you are always up to date with everything going on in COD, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. And if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, drop a like on it. It is always really appreciated. Our next new weapon that we're getting here is actually a new melee slash throwable, which is kind of interesting. This is known as the Spear, and this is available with the mid-season update via a Battle Pass sector and unlock challenges. So we'll have to go through and complete a few specific things to get this one with the reloaded update in a few weeks time. But they say fight like the ancients with a throwable spear built for the demands of modern combat. 3 spears are provided at each spawn. They throw fast and straight with a reticle provided to account for various distances. Thrown spears can be retrieved from the environment, and at least 1 should be kept for the weapon's rapid piercing strikes in close quarters. So you're gonna spawn with 3 of these. You can use it as like that close quarters melee weapon, but you can also throw these like knives and actually hurl them across the map. Then if you miss a player, you can go and retrieve it and get it back, or if you hit them, you could go and retrieve it then as well. So this is a really unique melee weapon. Usually we don't care too much about the melees because they're all sort of copy and paste, just with different animations and looks, right? But this one actually has a few extra additional uses, which I would say is pretty cool. And then lastly, for our full-on new weapons, we've got the Torque 35. This is classified as a launcher, but it's really just a compound bow. This is also going to be available with the mid-season update. However, this one is going to be available through some weekly challenges there, so we'll have to complete a bunch of different things to unlock this one with the reloaded patch. But they say wield a compound bow with 20 retrievable arrows. You can go and pick these up as well. A red dot sight for accurate shots on targets, and a weapon inspect animation that shouldn't be missed. I'm not sure why we're throwing those into descriptions, but this bow's excellent handling allows quick follow-up shots, and in close fights the option to fire off the hip keeps you light on your feet. Pull back for longer to increase the strength and velocity of each shot, and get creative with an array of ammunition options, including arrowheads equipped with thermite, explosive, and gas cartridges. Both the spear and the Torque 35 can pin enemies against a wall, so stick your insertion points accordingly. Again, a pretty interesting option here. Rarely is a weapon like a crossbow going to be considered meta, even in like multiplayer or Warzone, of course, but with different options for actual arrow tips here with thermites and explosives and gas and whatnot, I feel like this could actually be used effectively in some cases. I don't think it's going to be nearly as powerful as just straight up using the best rifle or the best LMG or the best SMG, but still certainly could serve a nice purpose here and there as more of like a support player style weapon. Now, in addition to all the new weapons coming with Season 5, we're also going to see 6 new aftermarket parts drop throughout the season on a week-to-week basis throughout the weekly challenges updates. Of course, we've seen this be the case for the past several seasons, so nothing new in terms of format. However, plenty new in terms of the aftermarket parts here. So as far as these 6 go, the first one's going to be known as the Jack Wide Mouth Barrel. This is on the Morris Sniper. They say a wide mouth barrel crafted to accommodate magnetic ball bearings that shatter upon firing, creating a barrage of small and lethal projectiles. This is basically the blunderbuss, which is going to be very interesting. We've got the Jack Slash. This is available on many weapons with underbarrel capabilities. This underbarrel vertical grip doubles as a combat knife, replacing your melee attack with a lethal slash. I don't think that one's going to be used nearly as effectively for what it's worth. We've got the Jack Protein. This is available on the RAL LMG from MW2. This conversion kit turns the RAL into a highly adaptable prototype weapon with a telescoping barrel that can be toggled between full auto and semi-auto, offering suppressive fire and precision in the same weapon. So definitely changes up how the RAL is going to feel. We've got the Jack Cataclysm on the RPK from MW2. This one says, command the battlefield with this 50 cal conversion for the RPK. Slow yet powerful with a high capacity drum mag. This kit is your enemy's nightmare. We've seen a few different 50 cal conversions now. None of them have been effective up until this point, like the M4 one, for instance. Just kind of mediocre, right? Hopefully this one maybe is a little bit more powerful and actually has a place in the meta. We've also got the Jack Devastators for the Reclaimer 18. Dual wield Reclaimer 18 shotguns to become a mobile artillery barrage. With this aftermarket part, accuracy and recoil control are minimal. However, destruction is maximized, so this is akimbo Spaz 12 shotguns basically. Very curious to see if that ends up being a part of the close range meta as opposed to just a single Reclaimer 18 or a Spaz 12, right? And then lastly, we've got the Jack Death March available on the Bal 27. This aftermarket part replaces standard ammo with high voltage power cells and a barrel with a photonic scatter barrel. Fire a spread of lethal laser blasts that take down enemies at short range. So the Bal 27 is going to become a close range laser gun. Very curious to see how that one's going to play as well. Safe to say we've got a lot of very interesting weapon updates coming throughout Season 5, but of course on top of that we're also going to see a major meta update with weapon balancing take place at the start of Season 5 when it drops on the 24th, but then also on potentially a week-to-week basis throughout the season. Obviously the mid-season update's going to include a lot of weapon changes. Really, as far as predicting what's going on here, I'm hoping they continue the trend that they sort of started with Season 4 Reloaded that included a lot of buffs and not nearly as many nerfs, especially for the long range. We have seen so many weapons that were at the top of the meta just nerfed and nerfed and nerfed to the point where everything kind of just feels like a pea shooter unless you're using a Kar 98K, for instance, right? So the long range meta absolutely needs some buffs between the rifles, maybe some battle rifles and the LMGs just to compete with the overall sniping meta. And then for close range, there's one specific gun that I can almost guarantee is going to be getting a nerf here, and that is the Supri. Mainly because this is an SMG that quite literally does it all. If you want to have the best mobility up close and have a fast TTK, the answer is the Supri. If you want to have a reliable low recoil option for close range, the answer is the Supri. On the contrary, if you want a mid to long range option that's low recoil with a fast TTK, the answer is the Supri. This thing's a little bit too versatile compared to pretty much every other gun in the game, so definitely would expect a nerf there. But across the board, we are going to see several different weapon buffs and nerfs, and the full patch notes for that will be out on Wednesday. And like I said earlier, I'll be covering those right as they drop, so stay tuned for that alongside everything else going on in the world of Call of Duty by hitting that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, a like rating is always really appreciated on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.